Hello everyone, this is Flatline and today I'm going to be doing a PvP. It's going to be like a, tutorial. I guess it'll be a guide, I guess. So I'm going to show you a macro PvP build that I learned from Minigun, who was amazing. I haven't lost with this build since, and that's what's really making me happy is that coaching session was definitely worth it. I learned a lot about PvP. I got a build from him as well that I felt wasn't coin flippy. It felt like I had good transitions, and it all comes down to me reacting and scouting well. So I will share you with this build, and then a couple of stuff with Protoss and some little tips and tricks as well that you could do in the PvP matchup. So you're gonna go for a 9 pylon, and you're gonna use your first 3 chrono boosts on probes. The rest of the chrono boosts will be used on probes until you expand and confirm that it's it's a macro game, etc, etc. But you're gonna stick to 3 chrono boosts on your probes, and then you want to make your gateway on 13, and you want to scout inside your base and a little bit outside it near your natural with this build. And the reason why you want to scout around your natural is because your cyber is going to be really late, and you're going to opt to go for double gas at 15 supply whenever you could afford them. And you're going to put 3 guys in each gas, and that's the biggest difference that you'll see compared to other PvP builds. Is if they go for that double gas, usually they'll put 2 guys in each gas, but this one requires you to go for 3 in each gas because you need that gas really fast. And so because of this, look at your money. You're not able to make a cyber core for a very long time. For some reason I'm actually caught up with him, so I'm not sure exactly what happened here. I think his was a little bit late. So anyways, just gonna be making pros. Make sure you make your Zealot whenever you can. Believe that's 19 supply. 19 supply you should be able to make. 19 to 20 supply you should be able to make a Zealot. And then you're gonna chrono boost out the first Sentry. Now the downside to this build is you actually don't go inside his base. So if they go for like Nexus first or something like that, you could be in bad shape. I'm not particularly sure if you are, because I haven't met any protoss that actually do that, because that's kind of weird. You're gonna get your Stargate whenever his probe leaves, pretty much, and you're gonna get your second Sentry. I will put down the build order in the description, so if you don't want to watch this whole entire video and all that kind of jazz, it'll be inside the description at least for you. But I do recommend people to watch this as much as possible. You want to make sure you get your 3 gateways as well, and then start up your Oracle as soon as possible. And you want to chrono boost it. You want to spend 1 chrono boost on your warpgate as well. And then after the oracle is being made, your next 100 gas should be invested into a Mothership core. And when this Mothership core comes out, this is about the time you want to start to expand, which is what you see right here. Now back at his base, he's doing 2 gate robo expand, just okay. Allows you to put on some kind of aggression and get a pretty quick expansion. The downside to it, of course, is the robotics. It's not always the best tech. In this situation, it's not. So he's pressuring me here, and I see his stalkers over here. Now he's not warping anything back at his base, so I'm just gonna put this on hold position. This is another trick, by the way. If you put the Oracle on a hold position, it actually kills stuff a lot quicker. because it's not moving around and doing stuff. I canceled this Nexus because I'm already doing so much damage over here. There's no reason for me to keep it. Because look at this, he has actually 5 stalkers here. So if I actually went down there with my units, I would actually lose all my units, and he could actually push up into my base and I could lose the game. So it's a risk to take when I already took a huge advantage. I killed 10 of his workers. So I just canceled this and just get a later expansion. That's fine. We can look at the supply lead. Pretty much a way ahead in this regard. So I see the Robo, and I decide to go for Void Rays. I see that he's pretty heavy on the stalkers, so let's get a Void Ray out, and I should be fine. And this game will progress from here on. So when you have this comfortable lead, you generally just sit back. There's no reason for you to, make a couple Phoenixes and go around and start sniping probes and all that. There's no reason for that. Just go into Void Rays, be safe, and always scout. If anything, in PvP, you have to always scout. Because if you don't scout, you don't see the transition. You don't see if they're all inning. You get hit pretty hard with the style. So the style that I'm going for is, you don't really want to warp in a lot of units. Instead, you want to invest all that supply into Stargate units. Now, the reason why I'm warping in more units here is because I already had that huge lead. So I want to make sure I fortify that lead pretty well here. So he has 2 stalkers here. And I'm just going to pick off 4 probes and get out of here. So even more, I'm still getting more probes in this regard. And it's 68 to 47. My expansion just finished up. And let's look at the unit stat. 32 probes to 26. So we have a 6 probe lead, which is humongous in any matchup. In PV, in TVT, and ZVZ. If you have more drones or more SCVs, you generally have the lead. When it comes to economy, at least. It all comes down to if you have the army to defend, of course. In which that case I do. I have my 2 Void Rays, I have a lot of Zealots, I also have a Mothership core full of energy. So if he does go for a counterattack and goes for some kind of push, it's not going to be the best thing for him, because I could put the photon overcharge, I could charge up my Void Rays, and that kind of regards. So I checked his bases. I see that he's actually getting gas at his natural. If you see them getting gas at their natural, it's a good indication that they're not going to be going for some kind of like 1.5 base all in. Now if they don't take their gases, you need to start warping in a lot of units, because they do have that option of going for a 1.5 base all in, which could be pretty dangerous. This game is looking pretty good for me. I'm also having a pretty good saturation at my natural. Around 11:30 is when you want to expand towards a 3rd, especially when you have this kind of lead. Still making Void Rays, and this is one of the cool tricks that I do with this style, or this opening, is I show that I have hallucination. I always show that I have Phoenixes to scout, so he's not gonna imagine this as the Oracle that's scouting. Now of course my Oracle's damaged here, so if he actually remembers that, he can see the difference on the health or the life thing. Unfortunately for him, he actually doesn't know that. So what he does is he actually chases this Oracle. He's gonna chase these Oracles, or chase the Oracle down. You can see I'm trying to micro it, trying to look like I'm trying to do something, but back over here, still getting more kills. And the Oracle is dead, but it's already too late for him. He reacts a little bit too late, and he gets further and further behind in that regard. So I'm going with a Twilight Council and a Robotics. The Robotics is there for a permanent detection with my army. I feel a lot better with that. Of course, you could substitute this for a Forge and get some cannons to play a little bit more defensive in that case, but then you can't really move out that much with your army, and I feel like I want to move out and kill him pretty soon, because he just took too much damage. This is just getting worse and worse for him. The Twilight Council in this regard is to get charged and to get Archons. It's time for me to actually start building up my ground army to support my Void Rays. The Void Rays are good. Let me close my door there. The Void Rays are good, but if they are undefended or they don't have a supporting, ground army, they could get blink under and they can get pretty dirty from there. Or, if they have Archons could get that 6 splash. There's High Templars with some 6 storms. All that kind of jazz. So I'm getting cannons at each base. And I saw the Twilight Council, and I know I saw the Templar Archives, but back in my head, I'm way ahead. It's time to do the mental checklist. Make sure, if he does go for DTs, I'm still going to be fine. I have the cannons at each base, so my units will be fine. So I have to go for a Dark Shrine in this case. The Dark Shrine is easier on the gas, and it's more on the minerals, which is fine with me, because the gas is going to be invested into the Void Rays instead of the High Templars. So it's a lot easier for me to maneuver with my money in that regard. So I have a lot of Void Rays, and I'm about to go ahead and push out soon. If you're wondering when to get this +1 attack, it's actually after you get these 2 Stargates, FYI. I'm getting this +1 armor because I actually forgot my fleet beacon, but that's okay. Generally you would just want to go for +3 attack and then armor, but it's fine. This Oracle still has 20 kills. And I did see his army move out, I believe. No, I did not. We're going to fast forward just a little bit here, because this is starting to get really long. I'm going to go in here, just hold position like I said. It becomes really hard for him to actually mine if it's actually literally on top of his stuff. 25 kills, just awesome. And he snipes off this base, so that's pretty good. This is still ×2 because, like I said, this game actually got on longer than I wanted it to. I don't know exactly why I'm doing this. I guess I just want to guarantee this win. So we're just gonna ×8 this because it's starting to get really boring. I just want to show the engagement part because it's really important to notify in PvP. When you go for this Skytoss and they go for High Templars with Storm, High Templars with Storm is actually really good against Void Rays. The best thing you could possibly do is to just make sure they're well spread out. And this is why you actually want to have a ground army, is because you want to kind of threatening. You can't make it where the High Templars are free and they're going in front or their army storming your units. If you have charge lots and Archons right under them, they can't really do that in regard. Though I do have the better composition though. My composition is a lot better than him. I throw down this time warp right here. So if he does want to commit and engage into my army, he will have to go through that, and it would be really bad. Because if he wants to retreat, it becomes nearly impossible for him to retreat. I don't know how these did not make it in, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, I guess my style is a little bit too passive, and I felt like I probably could have done more damage. I'm gonna send some DTs in here, snipe every single pylon, to unpower everything. So you can't really warp in or anything like that, because he's not only is he supply blocked, but then on top of that, all his stuff is gonna be unpowered. Let me see if I could go back to this engagement, because I do want to go ahead and talk about this engagement a little bit more. So you see I brought all his units back here. This is how I was able to sneak my DTs in. Alright, so this is going to be his wake up call to actually do something in this regard. He does have all these cannons protecting his minerals, but I don't even care. If he's not able to get any of his tech out then, or his production, he's going to be pretty much screwed. So he has a lot of High Templars with a lot of Storm. This is bad. Do not want to clump them up. You're going to see me, look at this, actively, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to put myself on busy. You want to spread this amount as much as possible. You can see how they're getting damaged here. You just want to minimize as much as possible, and he has all these Zealots, but the Zealots don't shoot up, so there's really nothing he can do at this point. Pretty much he's going to have to GG out. That's why the Skytoss kind of works, is because if you kill off everything that can shoot air, they'll have all their Zealots alive generally when they go for a heavy ground army. And so you could pretty much wipe them out with your Void Rays because they can't really do anything up there. So anyways guys, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I've seen a couple of people are starting to subscribe. That's pretty awesome. I'm not sure if you're spreading out the word or how they're getting here, but anyways, thanks for joining up and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And if you have any comments or feedbacks about the video or anything in general, you can leave some comments below the video, or you can tweet at me at twitter.com/flatlinesc2. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.